Okay guys, this is my spare door that I'm pulling apart. The interesting thing about this particular Stag that this door came off, it was very professionally painted and restored. The person who had it spent lots of money on it, and but it was a rust bucket underneath. This was a right-hand drive UK car. Somebody had imported it into the United States, and when I got it, the engine had overheated, and I don't know if the engine had overheated, but it was being sold in the US. They call the mechanics lien, which means that a basically the guy who owned it took it to a shop. They started working on it, and the guy sort of disappeared, and he didn't pay. So then what happens is the car gets sold at the mechanic shop to whoever, and the person I know bought it on Craigslist or I think, or eBay. I think it was eBay in San Jose area where I live, and he asked me if I wanted the car, and I said no. Oh, I'm on my. Sorry, I had to pause because my wife stopped and was asking me what I was doing. Anyway, so the car was painted a metallic silver. As you can see, it was actually done very well. It seemed a shame now I look back. By stripping it, we actually pulled the car, bits of it, and disposed of the car. This was the original color. I have, if people can tell me what color this is from a K-Reg UK Stag that I had pulled out of. Now, again, I'm going back to my windows. There's always this discussion about the bolts on the windows. This was connected to the motor. You can see there's a flat washer and a spring washer. This again is not documented in the book, and they are all for the same sizes. Another interesting thing I found out when I took this quarter panel mechanism thingy off, the quarter window, I took the screws out, and these are actually those ones that I have that pointed thing in. I don't recall seeing those on my Stag, but these are on there, and that is something interesting. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm stripping this door completely. I'm taking the bits off it. I'm going to put it in my attic space. What I wanted to show though is if you needed to change the wiper rubber on the outside, you don't have to take the frame off the car. You can get some sort of tool and pull it up, and it will come out just like you see here. Oops, I apologize. Let me start again. You get some sort of tool very carefully and pry it over underneath, and you do have enough room. Then you take this strip out, and along the edge. Now the interesting thing is, which is going to be a pain, is that they're held on with some clips. I don't know if you can see one here, one there. There's so many clips that hold them on there. They're a pain to put on, and I can imagine if you wanted to put the clips on at the very end of the door, you're going to have the hardest time in your life, because the only way you can do that is from inside the door panel. And I think, what I've done here is I stripped off everything, the quarter light mechanism, and you'll have to get it up from there with some sort of flashlight and some tool. I think there's some people who make some funny tools to get up there. These ones, you can make a U-shaped tool. I think James Paddock sells a tool you can buy for that, but believe me, that is a pain in the backside. And then also there's a felt. Sorry, there's a felt. Oops. I think I switched my video off. There's a felt strip on the inside. Again, it's held on by 4 or 5 clips. That if it's gone, then you can change it. Another thing, as I said, I'm working on this lock. The wiper arm, it has a pivot, a little nylon board, thing on there that's helped slide the window up and down. If that's broken on the end of the wiper arm, then you may want to change that at the same time. So lots of things going on this particular door. As I said, I'm just stripping this. It's going to go into the attic space just to make room. I don't know if anyone recognizes this sort of alarm system. It never had an alarm when we pulled it up, but it was just something to show. The person who had this car had definitely spent lots and lots of money on it. It had a lot of Unipart parts on it. Had a new Austin Rover fuel tank. I've still got that somewhere in my shed. New shock absorbers and struts from Unipart. Had a whole load of things done to it. Even the interior door was custom made. Seats were custom. Some sort of grey custom doors. Carpet. As I said, the person who owned this car and brought it into the country definitely spent a lot of money on it. Interesting. I remember the Federal Stags have these chrome things on the end of the frames, but this is, as I said, I mentioned, a UK Stag. This thing is like a wedge-shaped piece of rubber on there, and I have my Stag in the shed garage. I can show you. Basically, on the Federal ones, they have this metal cap that covers the gap. This one's a bit bashed up, but you get the idea.